Game 2 Friday night in Milwaukee. You'll see it on TNT at 8:30 Eastern Time. We'll get into the X's and O's in a moment, but I want to get your take on this Atlanta team that continues to defy expectations. They play with a confidence, a brashness, that shimmy exemplifies the confidence that Trae Young plays with as well. And they don't seem rattled by, road crowds, by atmospheres. They play to it. They seem to enjoy it. And for a team that hasn't been through this before, it just strikes me they just keep playing the way they play. Where does that come from?
Staying in the moment. Zeke, as the kids say today, they want that smoke. We know Trae Young is in the gym. You can go to YouTube and watch him back in 8th grade shooting from half court when he was super skinny then. Everyone said, why are you doing this, young man? Where he and his dad said, you know what? We have a plan. We're going to stick to our plan. And last time I checked, Zeke, the plan is working.
Yes.
Okay? Same thing with Collins. People say, Wake Forest, traveled around with his family. Wait a minute, I don't know about his work ethic. Well, yes, he's a freak of nature athletically, and he's figured it out. So these guys are really living in the moment and not listening to these so-called narratives that you have to lose or you got to get your playoff wounds first. No. And Nate McMillan, he's been there before. Mm-hmm. So he's able to navigate through some of these old sayings and say, guys, let me tweak a few things, play hard and play the right way, and just go live in the moment. And that's what we see with the Hawks.
Yeah.
What impresses you most about just their approach? Again, not the X's and O's so much, but about their approach to all this.
To me, Matt, the maturation of Trae Young, and we were here a couple of nights on Zoom, just talking about when remember early in the season they were having some friction. Mm-hmm. He and Collins and the team, and they just weren't the attitude wasn't right and everything, and Trae, to his credit, right, he took the criticism. And then he matured from it. Mm-hmm. And not only did he mature from it, but now he's become a great leader for them. And that's the thing that has impressed me the most in this short period of time. We always knew, he can shoot the basketball and his basketball skills were, great. But we always questioned, okay, can he lead a team? And can he grow? And I credit, Collins early in the season, that little friction that they had. Mm-hmm. And I think we were saying, sometimes friction is good because it can help you grow. And to Trae Young and Atlanta Hawks' credit, they grew from that situation and they got better.
And he obviously can still have nights like he had last night where he goes for 48, but over the course of the season, we saw him become a much better game manager. And maybe not necessarily average 30 over the course of a season, but be a better player as a result. In terms of this series and what the Bucks are up against, this high pick and roll that has baffled everybody so far was a problem again last night. Why can't anybody solve this?
Well, first of all, as a scoring point guard, you can't, as a defender, get behind me when I got the ball.
Right.
The defender, you're supposed to stay between the ball and the basket or the man in the basket. But too many times we see the defender actually behind the dribbler. And then the big drops all the way in front of the basket. So that means I got from the top of the key or the three-point line, and I got all this space. It would be the equivalent to if you took, in football, if you took all the linebackers and said, we're going to take them out of the middle of the field, right?
Right.
And
we're going to put them in the secondary.
Yeah. And no, we're going to double these wide receivers because we're not going to lead a three-point line, right? So we're going to double these wide receivers. And then we're going to drop our safety all the way back to the goal line. and we got Barry Sanders in the backfield, right? And he gets the middle of the field to run. For a point guard, if I got the middle of the floor, that's where I operate the best at. Mm-hmm. And then if you're giving me space and room, hey, 48.
Yeah. We talked about this off air a moment ago. I wonder about the wisdom of even going over the top of the screen if you're 35 feet away from the basket, and that's where some of these screens are set. But we saw Milwaukee adjust last night by switching a lot more in the second half. And unlike a lot of teams defensively, they have good enough defensive players to do that. Is that the more likely strategy moving forward for the Bucks?
To your point, Matt, who are you switching with?
Right.
And I think that's going to be the toughest thing for Bud, because right now all the highlights we're showing, Brook Lopez is so far back. To Zeke's point, you got one guy behind him and nobody in front of him, so that's why the floater's working. Where in the previous series, Ben Simmons with length, they were touching a couple of those shots. So I think you may have to go small if you want to switch. So now at least there's a small guard switching on versus Lopez, who's giving up too much space.